Hey guys, it's Laureen from Glinda's Guidance, and today I wanted to do a review of the Tarot in Wonderland, or Wonderland in Tarot. A phenomenal deck from Barbara Moore, done by Llewellyn. And let me just go through the basics first, and that is it comes in this phenomenal box with the nice magnet closure. I know it's so cute, and the little thread that holds the cards that go right in here. And then of course it comes with this phenomenal book. I want you to see it. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous. And I have a bookmark for this review, but I want you to see that it comes with all the colored images of the cards with a beautiful description, some quotes from the story. So I think it's a really useful, really helpful book. It's a really hefty book. It's been great in terms of reference, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. Of course, the first thing I always look at is cardstock. Oh, Llewellyn. Oh, Llewellyn. I love your images. And your cardstock is really lacking significantly. Okay, so number one, the cardstock is super, super, super flimsy. Okay, it's glossy. They're glossy finish. Well, let me turn her right side up so you can see her. But you can see it's got a really high sheen. Now, I know some people really like that. It's not for me personally, only because it's really hard to take pictures of the images, like if I'm going to send them to clients or what have you. Super glossy, super thin, and you can probably already see it on the top here. They've already started to chip. I'm going to try to show you. Can you see all the damage on the edges? And I just got this deck. I mean, it's brand new to me. Now, I do like to riffle shuffle, but even with this one, I've just been kind of doing the overhand shuffle and being really gentle with them. But I'll tell you that when they bend, they don't go back very easily, so they're not very resilient. They don't keep their shape very well. I don't think they're very sturdy. I will definitely be buying a backup deck because I love this deck. I love the cards. I love the images, but I know this is not going to last, and I really wish that Llewellyn would spend more money on the cards and maybe less on the packaging, even though the box is beautiful and the book is amazing. Yeah, I use the cards. That's the whole reason I get tarot in the first place. So I know Llewellyn has heard this before. This is not going to be the first time, but I'm hoping, tarot community, that they're going to listen to us. Oh, let me show you the backs. They're not reversible. So if that bugs you, it's going to bug you, okay? Because it's really obvious. And I think what's obvious about it in the reversal is you've got the white rabbit and you've got Alice. So you can tell right away when the white rabbit is on the top, you've got a reversal, and when Alice is on the top, you've got an upright. So when we're shuffling, you know, that's real noticeable. Okay, one of the things that I asked of the deck is what it would like to share with us about itself. And what it gave me was, I love this card so much, the Knight of Cups. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just try to get away from the sheen. Do you see why I don't like the sheen? That's Matisse talking to us. So this is the Knight of Cups, and I thought, oh yes, of course it wants us to know this. It's deep, and it's soulful, and it has much to tell us, but just sit and take your time with it, okay? So it's a deck that begs of you to be quiet, to be introspective, to recognize your creative expression, and to allow the art to kind of connect to you over the course of time. And I want to read from the book for this because I thought, well, it was so poignant. First of all, here's a big image. Isn't that awesome? And then the image from the story as well. Okay, so for the night, I really want to just read from you the excerpt from this book because I thought it was so poignant about what this deck wanted to share with us today. And this I have found to be very true for the personality of this deck, so I think it's really well written in this way. So like the other knights, he does focus intensely on his goal, but because he lives in a kind of between worlds state, just like Alice, we can't always see or understand what he is doing. Consequently, it's easy for him to be misunderstood. And I do think that there is a possibility for this deck to be misunderstood, especially if you go quickly into a reading. I've found the more time I spend with the cards, with the spread, the better my interpretation becomes. Luckily, he's more concerned with whatever he's working on to care much about what others think about him. So it's a very independent deck. It doesn't really care one way or the other if you like the approach, okay? Because you're getting this particular approach. And I think it is asking us to step outside ourselves, to look at things through the 4D state, right? The dream state. It's very much within the realm of Wonderland in tarot. If you want to catch his attention, appeal to his commitment to the kind of truth he values. The truth is beauty kind, not necessarily these are the facts kind. And it is a gorgeous deck, okay? Show him how his participation can really help someone in need or serve a greater ideal. Don't expect things from him he can't give. He'll never be a take charge person or natural leader, but he will be a true friend and support you with every bit of his vast heart. Oh my God, I just love that. And that is, to me, I'm so glad that I asked the deck what it wanted to share with you and what it wanted to make sure came through in terms of my review. That is so accurate in terms of what I have found reading with this deck. It really is an in-between worlds kind of deck. Its images are absolutely luscious. I can go through a few of them for you. Okay, let's just look at the Hanged Man. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, and it has all kinds of details and lots of things to catch your eye. And there are other little hidden symbols in it, which I love. Okay, in terms of reading, let me see if I can find them for you. Okay, well, here's just on the Hangman. Okay, it states that there's symbolism within the deck, checkerboard and chess pieces. That if you are talking about checkerboard, you are basically, the messages are about you leaving yourself up to fate a little bit, right? Because checkerboard is just kind of like the black or the red, the black or the red. It's a much more simplistic game than the chess pieces. If you have a lot of chess pieces in your reading, this is about you really taking a look and going for the strategy of what's happening in your life. How cool is that as a secondary layer for tarot that we don't often see? So let me give you an example of chess pieces. Here we go. All right, so if you get a lot of these, see how it's a chess piece? He's a chess piece. So if you get a lot of chess pieces in your reading, then you know you're actually on track because you're working on the strategy of your life. If you get a lot of checkers pieces, then you're kind of tossing it up to fate. So I thought that was one of the really cool things about this deck, and very different from everything else. I happen to love the wheel card. And I just even love the idea of the playing cards. Again, it feels like you're leaving yourself to chance, right? So even though this is a major arcana card, and it's the Wheel of Fortune, that does speak a little bit to luck and chance, doesn't it? It's about something that's outside of our control, and she just kind of keeps chasing the rabbit, and it's going to go back and forth, back and forth. You've got the checkerboard in the back here, and then all of the wonderful playing cards, which really speaks to just it being outside of your control. I'm just going to leave it up to source, okay? What else about this fabulous deck? I want to do a reading for you. I love this. I love this Eight of Wands. All the cards flying through the air, again with the checkerboard. Do you see how they have those symbols throughout? It's really fantastic. So I want to do a reading for you because I hate to leave you without a reading. And show you how I have found that the symbols kind of really meld well together, and hopefully what's going to show up for us is that checkerboard and chess pieces, okay? So by the magic of video, I'm going to be back with you in just a moment. Okay, we are back with the Tarot in Wonderland, Wonderland in Tarot, and as happens quite frequently with me, I wish I'd just listened to my intuition in the first place and told you the message that was coming to me, but instead, Alice has decided to share the exact message that was coming to me, because I was wondering, what should I share with you? What would be a good thing to do about the reading? And so what I normally do is a first operation. If you're not familiar with that, I learned it from Bennabelle Wen in her Holistic Tarot book, which I love. But I did a first operation just asking what we, the High Priestess, really, what is influencing us right now? What's going on in our world? What is it that we really need to know? So first of all, let me point out to you the High Priestess card. We have the chess pieces, okay? The High Priestess is really all about strategy, isn't she? She's about connecting to the subconscious to have that strategic process. And then I really shouldn't be surprised with what came up. We have a fantastic idea. We have had some clarity about something recently, okay, that's really important to us. And then when we have the sword here, but we also have the plume, it makes me think something that we're creating, something that we're writing, or we are communicating with others. So we've had this aha moment. We've had this clarity. And so what has happened to us? Yikes! The clarity is taking us right out of our comfort zone, okay? It's pulling us out. This, to me, Alice feels like back here is where I live and where I feel safe and where I feel confident, and the frog is just whisking her away. So here we are feeling like we're being drawn onto the other side because this power of this creative energy that we had was so powerful that it's drawing us right out of our comfort zone. It's calling us to do something with it, and we are feeling outside of our comfort zone. And subsequently, what we have is the moon, okay, where we are just completely uncertain about what our future is. And so what happens is we get stuck in our mind. We get stuck in our illusions. We think everything is going to go bump in the night. So everybody else is saying, wow, what a great idea you have. Why don't you get out there and tell people about it? Well, it's making me feel uncomfortable. I'm outside of my comfort zone, and you are kind of dragging me into that position. I'm not ready to go. And subsequently, since I went with you, now I'm really feeling uncertain. Everything is going bump in the night for me. So if this relates to your practice as a high priestess, whether you're a healer, a tarot reader, astronumerologist, whatever it is that you practice, or if you have a whole bunch of things that you practice, this is what's influencing you right now. You've got great things to say, but you're feeling uncomfortable about it, and all you're hearing are the things that go bump in the night, okay? So let me give you some advice. Hold on one second, and I'm going to do that for you. Okay, and by the magic of video, we are back, and here's what I did. I just did what crosses you, like what is your obstacle, what's really standing in your way, what would you be best to embrace going forward, and what should you leave behind, or what would be best for you to avoid or leave behind if you want to be able to share this wonderful idea, okay? What crosses you, this should not be a surprise to us, it's the Five of Swords. And this is all about those bullying thoughts. And I really think, given this one, that you are bullying yourself, okay? Because if you look at these two little characters in the back, they could actually go right back and pick up their swords. They're not even, they're behind her back, they're behind the queen's back. She doesn't even see them. They could very easily do that. So I think we could very easily pick up exactly what it is we need to go into battle to face our fears, but we're making them up to be so much bigger in our mind than they actually are, that we feel like we're outmatched when we're not actually. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so this is our current obstacle, and yet look at the beautiful horizon. We can do this. Look at the beautiful roses. We have a lot of potential, and we can get this done. Okay, so what should we do going forward? Well, this isn't always the message that we want to hear, but be uncomfortable. Go ahead, let it drop, let it feel awkward to you. It's the Two of Pentacles reversed. When we have the Two of Pentacles upright, we are really keeping it together. We got a lot going on, no problem. We're still in control, even though things look a little bit wonky and maybe a little stormy in the background. But since it comes to us reversed, we're doing everything we can to kind of resist the flow. So if you just let it drop, okay? Just let, oh, I'm so sorry. Let that emotion overtake you, okay? Let the water come rushing over you. And even if it feels uncomfortable, and even if at first you feel like this was a really bad choice, why did I do this? It's actually what's going to lead to facing your fears, is what leads you to be able to have that victory, to share your voice, okay? Now again, we have the checkerboard here instead of the chess pieces. So this is a little bit about you leaving it up to fate. Just let it drop. Okay? Ooh, did you like how I did that? Let it drop. Okay? So let yourself be uncomfortable. Let it just go out there. Even if it's not perfect, release your idea to the world anyway. You have clarity on it. It came to you for a reason. Go ahead and let it go. And here's what we want to avoid. Oh, sitting on our past successes. Okay? Yes, what you've done in the past has been fantastic. It's been helpful. It's been real helpful to the world, in fact. However, that's not the new idea that you received. You received a new idea recently. So let's please not rest on our laurels and just say, but I've already done all of this, so I'm just going to sit here and smoke my little pipe. That's not what we want to do right now. This is not about comfort. It's actually the opposite of comfort. So if you can see, it's giving us kind of a very similar message, and it's saying, no, this is the opposite of what you want to do. Don't just rest on your laurels. I want you to get out there and be uncomfortable. Okay, so I'm looking, and I was hoping that the deck would give us just a kind of a predominance one way or the other of the chess pieces or of the checkerboard, but it really didn't. We just had the one checkerboard that showed up here, and this does make sense where we're just kind of leaving it to outside of ourselves a little bit, but really to be in control of what we have going on, in control of our intuition, our intuitive gifts, our psychic abilities, whatever we want to call it, we really have to play chess, not checkers. So, folks, you're beating yourself up. You don't have to. You're letting things go bump in the night because you're already feeling uncomfortable, so you're not releasing that idea. Go ahead and just put it out there. Even if you don't feel great about it, put it out there because it actually results in wonderful magic for you. Okay, if you do this, I got the root card here, which was a 6 of Cups, one of my favorite. You're not paying attention to the elephant in the room, right? So go ahead and be uncomfortable, and then what happens is the past becomes present for you again, and the beauty of this is, if that's the case, then you're going to be able to feel like this again, right? If you've had this success in your past, it is going to return to you. But this time, it returns to you bearing these beautiful gifts, okay? It has an adventure for you. It might be a little challenging at times, but it does have beautiful gifts for you. All right, so there you have it. This is the Tarot in Wonderland. Wonderland in Tarot from Llewellyn, book by Barbara Moore. Absolutely phenomenal. I cannot recommend it highly enough. I have really enjoyed this. It's a crowd pleaser for my guests as well. It really has had some good literal readings for me as well. They didn't show up as much here as they have in some of my other readings, but trust me when I say sometimes you see that rabbit and the rabbit pops up over and over again, or you see the characters pop up over and over again, and it really draws a beautiful storyline for you. So I hope you're going to give it a try. It's absolutely worth the money, even though the cardstock is crappy. I'm so sorry to say it, but I'm getting myself a backup deck because I absolutely love it. Okay? Thanks so much, guys. I'll leave the link to Amazon. You can grab this one on Amazon, okay? See you later.